You are 18 when the broadcasts stop making sense. First they called it a virus. Then they stopped calling it anything and just showed maps with red zones expanding like spilled blood. The government declares martial law on a Tuesday afternoon. By Thursday, soldiers in unmarked uniforms are at every checkpoint. They're not asking questions. They're making announcements. All able-bodied citizens between 18 and 40 are subject to mandatory conscription under emergency decree. Resistance is treason. Your mother watches from the window as you pack. Your father won't look at you. You report to Sector 7 training ground. It used to be a shopping mall. Now it's a processing center. Thousands of recruits in gray uniforms standing in identical rows. You're assigned to Squad 12 under Sergeant Krasnov. He's the type who yells but doesn't explain. You learn quickly that understanding doesn't matter. Obedience does. They teach you to shoot. To move in formation. To recognize infected by silhouette. The first time you see actual footage of zombies, not infected people, but the ones that move wrong, that don't stop coming, your hands go cold. The sergeant notices and calls you out. Fear is weakness. Weakness gets everyone killed. You nod. You learn not to show anything on your face. This becomes your first real skill. Your first patrol is in the outer districts. The infected are sparse here, mostly contained by the perimeter walls. You walk for 8 hours holding a rifle that feels heavier as the day goes on. Nothing happens. You almost wish something would, just to know if you could actually do this. At the end of the day, Sergeant Krasnov tells you that you didn't panic. That's all he says. It's enough. 6 months pass. You become efficient. Not good, but efficient. You follow orders without questioning them. You learn not to think about the civilians you see behind checkpoint gates, the ones turned away because they don't have proper documentation. You learn that the government controls food distribution, and people who question authority don't eat. You learn that survival requires compliance. You're promoted to corporal after a supply extraction mission goes smoothly. They pin a rank on your sleeve and give you 3 soldiers to supervise. Suddenly you're responsible for people. It's different from taking orders. When Private Okafor freezes during a firefight, you have to push him forward. When Private Chen is injured, you have to decide whether to evacuate him, risking time, or keep moving. You choose to keep moving. He survives. You try not to think about what happens if he hadn't. Command is pleased with your performance. They move you to lieutenant. You're given a squad of 40 people and territory to patrol. The red zones have expanded. The government says this is temporary. Everyone knows it isn't. Civilians are being relocated constantly. The dictator's voice on the broadcasts becomes more frequent. Unity under strength. Order through authority. The infected are outside. We are inside. We survive together or we die apart. You start attending command meetings. The conversations are different here. Major Volkov discusses casualty rates like their inventory. Colonel Reeves talks about resource allocation in sectors where infection is spreading. They want to know if populations in certain districts should be evacuated or abandoned. You understand for the first time that this isn't just about fighting zombies. This is about control. One meeting, they present a proposal. The outer sectors have the highest infection rates. They're also the most populated with undesirables, people who spoke against the regime before the outbreak, people from restricted demographics, refugees. The proposal is to reduce support to these sectors. Allow them to manage independently. If they don't survive, natural selection. If they do, they'll be grateful for the government's eventual rescue. You watch other officers nod. You nod too. That night you can't sleep. You're 24 years old and you just approved policies that will kill thousands of people you've never met. Your promotion to captain comes with command of 2 sectors. You have 300 soldiers under you now. You have authority over resource distribution. You decide which neighborhoods get food shipments, which ones get infection control support, which ones get abandoned. You make these decisions in climate-controlled offices while civilians outside are rationing meals. You meet with the Sector 7 Governance Council. They tell you that population control is essential. Fewer people means fewer mouths to feed. Fewer people means less potential for resistance. The dictatorship speaks in euphemisms. You learn the language. Optimization. Resource management. Strategic consolidation. What they mean is, let people die in ways that look like zombies killed them, not government decisions. You receive a report that your sister is in Sector 4. She joined a resistance group before conscription became mandatory. She's suspected of sedition. Command asks if you'd like to extract her. You know what extraction means. You say no. Conflict of interest. She's listed as disappeared 3 weeks later. You don't ask for details. The infected have evolved. They move in coordinated groups now. They attack perimeters strategically. The government says they're adapting to become smarter. Some soldiers think they're being controlled. Command says paranoia is a symptom of low morale. Anyone spreading conspiracy theories is arrested. You don't know which theory is true. You stop trying to figure it out. You're promoted to major at 27. You command 5 sectors now. That's nearly 2 million people, though the numbers keep decreasing. Disease, starvation, execution for resistance, infection, the population shrinks. The dictator appears on screens declaring this a triumph. Fewer people to protect. More resources for the survivors. The broadcasts never mention how many actually survived. Your role shifts again. You're not fighting zombies anymore. You're managing populations. You attend meetings with the Interior Ministry. They discuss which districts to reclassify as restricted, which communities to monitor more closely. You debate, intellectually, over tea and reports, whether certain populations have proven their loyalty to the regime. Your opinion matters. Your recommendations shape policy. People you'll never meet live or die based on your words. You receive an order to suppress a civilian uprising in Sector 3. They're protesting food shortages. The government calls it terrorism. They want you to handle it. You dispatch soldiers. 30 civilians die. 90 are arrested. Command commends you for restoring order. The uprising ends. You're promoted to colonel. By 30, you're part of the inner strategic circle. You advise the dictator directly. You don't see him much, he's protected in the central compound, but your reports shape his decisions. You discuss expansion into new territories. Consolidation of remaining population centers. The development of new vaccines that might reduce infection rates but that only government loyalists will receive, creating permanent class divisions. You understand now that this system will outlast the zombie outbreak. When the infected are finally contained, and they will be eventually, the dictatorship won't end. It's evolved beyond crisis response. It's become permanent. The zombies were the catalyst, but fear itself is the infrastructure. And you helped build it. You're 32 years old. You command all military operations across 5 provinces. You have not set foot in a combat zone in 4 years. You coordinate from a command center that was once a luxury hotel. You move pieces on a map. Soldiers become statistics. Civilians become management problems. One night Major Volkov finds you staring at casualty reports. He asks if you ever think about how different this is from where you started. You tell him you try not to think about it. He says that's probably wise. Then he tells you he's leaving. He's found a way out, a settlement beyond the reach of dictatorial control where people are building something new. He asks if you want to come. You have everything here. Authority. Resources. Safety. You also have the knowledge that you built this structure brick by brick, compromise by compromise. You say no. He leaves the next day. You are 32 and you command an empire of survival built on the backs of the expendable. The boy who was conscripted at 18 is gone. What remains is someone who can calculate the cost of decisions and make them anyway. The zombies outside the walls are still a threat, but they're almost secondary now. The real threat is that this system has become normal. That you've become normal within it. Tomorrow there will be more reports, more meetings, more decisions. You'll make them the way you've made all the others, with efficiency and without alternatives. The broadcast speakers crackle with the dictator's voice. Order through strength. Survival through obedience. Unity through fear. You're not sure anymore which part was the apocalypse, the zombies or what you became to survive them.